Hey guys, you're probably wondering what the hell you're looking at. What you are in fact looking at is the start of this. So I'm going to get back into what I did to make sure I got out of the house every week. And that's go be a nerd. So starting with Firestorm Armada, and hopefully continuing with it for a very long time, I am going to be doing miniatures again. Now some of you are probably wondering, why are you painting that pink, Fiaura? Well, because the fleet I am using is, while not a Slaanesh fleet, I am going to paint them Slaanesh-like colors. So pinks, purples, those sorts of things. And this, well, this is the start of me working on that fleet. I've affectionately named this one the Tiger Claw. For those who don't get the reference, go watch Wing Commander. Not the bloody movie. Don't you watch the movie. But I'd like to describe to you guys what this does for me. So for a start, miniatures gave me a reason to get out of the house every week. Basically, to go somewhere, have to interact with other people, and spend time with them. And this resulted in me building many friendships, including the initial start of the friendship I have with my adoptive family. Started because I was out playing miniature gaming and they invited me to play D&D. That's a long story that we won't be going over today. But in effect, I am going to be painting these on camera and while they render in the little upper corner of my exercise videos. So there you go. Now this is just the initial base coat, so it's not going to look very good. When we finish this, however, you guys might quite very well be amazed at what it turns out to look like. Because I have got to figure out where every little detail is going to go on this big old carrier here. And it is quite a hefty little model. But I will also be going into detail about where we're playing every week. For you guys. Your benefit right there on the camera. I'll be telling you guys what game store we're going to be at every week as soon as we figure out which game store it's going to be. And what time I'm going to be there. And I will be bringing extra fleets. Now these extra fleets won't necessarily be painted, fair warning. But if you guys want to come, which I don't expect any of you really to, but you could. If you guys want to come and play, you can. As long as you don't break anything. And Firestorm Armada doesn't cost very much money to get into. I think over the course of the last 2 years I've spent maybe $200 on the game total. I just haven't bothered to. I've assembled all my ships. Everything's in one piece. None of it's painted. So the goal is going to be to get it all painted. And hopefully, when I'm done, this will turn into a beautiful work of art. And for those who don't know, works of art usually start out looking pretty bad. I mean, this does not look great yet. But, there you go. Look at the detail on these, by the way. This is all resin, so you have to rinse it before you touch it, really. Especially when using water-based paints, because the residue from resin is toxic. Fair warning. But it's a nice little model, I think. And it's going to start being a part of my therapy, too. Because miniatures forced me to interact with people. And when I had to interact with people, I was happier. Like people in real life. So we will also be recording the encounters at the stores. Be recording the battles for you guys. Presenting them to you guys, that sort of thing. Now the Bobbington footage, I'm actually editing today. I'm actually doing that today, Sophie. So don't get all upset with me. And when you come visit Sophie, don't worry, we'll have a fleet you can play with. So don't worry your pretty little head. I may even have that whole fleet painted by then. But every week you guys are probably going to see a new model sitting on my desk for the same fleet which I played Ceruleans, who are these reptile lizard people who happen to be master engineers. And I play them because I like the fact that they do broadsides. Like, their whole concept is to pull their ship up beside you and go, eat this. Like, you know, classic seaborne pirate broadside. But hopefully, I mean, if you guys are actually interested in learning how to do this, you'll come to the game store and I'll teach you how to paint. And for those who are curious how good a painter I actually am, on the video right now, if I've timed this correctly, Fiaura, it is 6 minutes in. Are some pictures of painted miniatures. These are painted by me. For me. These were actually made by me. Basically, I'm the one that put these together. And they are absolutely, well, in other people's opinion, they're gorgeous. In my opinion, they're decent. But apparently, they were good enough to win the Harbinger of Menoth there, the blind lady being held down by the 3 lepers. She won me a shitload of swag from Privateer Press and was the best painted miniature at Dragon Con back in 2005. And I painted her, like, detail for detail. And then some of the other more recent ones, the Tau stealth suits, are actually painted in what's called a distortion pattern. Basically, they understand that you can see them, and they have no way of restoring their stealth field properly. So instead of painting them to look like invisible, it makes it hard to actually see where they really are, so you can get a direct hit. And that was the concept of my entire Tau army, which I am going to sell. I've decided that I am going to sell my Warhammer 40k miniatures and get into another miniature game because Warhammer 40k is just way too expensive. And more importantly, the Warhammer 40k miniatures I have right now could actually potentially sell for more than I bought them for. Since I don't really want to play. And all of you are like, blasphemy! And I'm like, you know what? I don't think it's worth... I don't think Fire Warriors made of plastic are worth $45 a box for 10 Fire Warriors and 3 drones. That's my opinion. And you can tell me to shove it or not, but I really honestly don't think that it's worth that much. I prefer cheaper miniatures that are more fun to play with and are still beautifully done. And these, I've got enough right now to do a multi-size fleet, which means I'll have a grand fleet and a patrol fleet, about 2,800 points, which is just massive for this game. I mean, it is absolutely massive to do such a large-scale fleet. I've spent, all total, maybe $200 on the ships. For English people, by the way, Spartan Games is really, really popular in England. Which I wish we'd gone to a Spartan Games store where I could have really had a good time with Firestorm instead of the random game store we did. Hopefully I'll get to go to one next year, or when I go to England again, hopefully sooner than next year. We'll have to wait and see, right? But yeah, that is what I'm going to be doing as part of my therapy, is painting and going out to play, and you guys will be witnesses to the play itself. At once a week, we will probably play a game and record it via the headcam that I use for exercise, and you guys will get to see it. And part of this therapy is to help me reestablish in-person social skills. and in-person friendships. And if you guys want to come, I will be announcing... Actually, I can tell you right now the store that we plan to go to this week and try out. Oh, shit. Well, that's going to be fun. Is Maplewood. It's Maplewood Hobby, located at 970 Springfield Avenue in Maplewood, New Jersey. And we plan to be there most of the day Sunday. It opens at 11 o'clock this coming Sunday. And I will be reminding you guys later in the week. And if you're in the area and you would like to come out, come on out. We'll bring some extra fleets for people to play with and demo with if they want to come in and play too. No questions asked. And we would appreciate having more than just me and Jay and Jay's wife Val to play with, personally. But that's up to you guys. And as I said, while videos render, this is what I'm going to be doing. Sitting down and actually, for the second time in my life, getting an army fully painted. In this case, a fleet of ships. Which, once they're fully painted, I'll proudly display in the background of all my videos when I'm not actually using them to blow somebody up. Or get blown up myself, because that's happened too. And, yeah. So it's a start, right? To start. Hopefully by the time you guys see this thing next time, I'll have the pink base coat on. We'll be moving on to purple and gunmetal. But, that's next time. Tell me what you think. And don't say, well, I can't paint. Well, guess what? We can teach you. And everybody can paint. Trust me. I have seen people who have whose hands shake more than mine who can paint and shoot. So don't worry about you thinking you can't paint. Trust me. You can do it. It's just a matter of practice, time, patience, and learning. Once you have those things, well,
did you change?
Who's to say
something?
You can't paint your own fleet? And if you can't get into the game right now because of money, that's fine.
No, actually,
like we said earlier,
the chances of it happening.
I'd be more than willing to welcome you to play with us and just borrow fleets until you can patch together your own, or hell, you might even be able just to buy one from us. Because Jay's put a lot of money into the game, and I would like to see us build a Firestorm kind of community who comes together every week and play some Firestorm together. Maybe even get into the planetary-based stuff if we get the ships to be popular enough. And you were just being stubborn. Or is that actually a... Oh, that's actually a defect in the model. Didn't notice that. I'll have to make it into some battle damage or something. There's a little hole right there on the back compared to this side. I'll have to make it into some battle damage. That's not that hard to do, though.
I just don't have it.
To start, right? So, what do you think? Do you guys want to see us do the battles and maybe one day come out and play? It's water-based paint, and the easiest way to get a mostly dry brush when you're dry brushing is to lick it, believe it or not. It's non-toxic, it's not going to hurt me, and I've done it for literally years. Actually, this is my first paintbrush right here. I still have it. This is my first paintbrush. Sometimes you can't beat the old. Anyway. I'll talk to you guys later.